Good evening, everybody. I would like to call the Richmond Township Board meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, April 9th. Would everyone please stand and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Sure. Chris Brinkley. Here. Cindy Greenham.
Here.
Anthony LaFontaine. Here. And Chuck.
Here. Presentation of agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, I would like to add positive pay underneath the treasury report, 8C.
Are there any other changes to the agenda? Hearing no more, I would, is that a motion to approve the agenda with that change?
Yes.
And can I get a support? Any other discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the public comment. This part of the public comment is on agenda items only. You can only speak here if you are speaking to any agenda item. There's another part on the agenda where you can get up with general public comment. So is there anyone here that has any comments on anything we have on the agenda? All right, hearing none. Next, we will go to the approval of minutes. Has everyone had a chance to read over the board minutes from our March 12th, 2025 meeting? Were there any questions? Hearing none, I take a motion to approve as presented, please. Is there support?
I can support.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We have the building department report, the EMS report, office administrative report, and the planning commission report. And in front of you, we have the NEMC minutes as well. If anyone would like to remove any item from the consent agenda, please make a motion stating so. If not, a motion would be in order to approve the consent agenda as proposed.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. I did want to note on the building report this time, looking through the addresses, there were permits for 5 new homes in there, which is pretty exciting. Next, we have the financial reports. Approve and pay the bills. Has everyone had a chance to look at scheduled bills that can be submitted? Are there any questions for the clerk? Okay. Hearing none, motion would be in order to approve and pay the bills as submitted. I'll make that motion. Is there support?
Support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Now we have the treasurer's report. If you would review that for us, please.
Sure. The report for the bank statement that's in your packet is the February report. I did put a new one on your desk for March. So in the general fund, we have $2,061,344.21. And the tax disbursement account is $178,571.39. Recreational fund, we have $456,796.30. Investment accounts, we have $242,333.94. PDR account, we have $23,958.49. And other accounts is $22,924.83, with a grand total of $2,985,929.16. I also did want to say that so this report is from March, so sometime in the beginning of April, I did take $500,000 out of the general account and put it into a CD over at North Star, 2 CDs actually. I want to put $500,000 over to PNC too. In order to do that, though, they need the minutes showing that I am allowed to be, authorized person to opened up a certificate with them for 500,000, and they also need on the minutes whose name will be on the account. So it needs to show that Chris Burkle, Tom Green, Kathy LaFontaine, and Lori Stewart's name will be on the certificate that I'm going to be opening up. I'll probably be opening up 2 certificates, so 250,000 each at PNC.
Do they need any particular language in that motion? Or
She just said that it just needs to show that Chris Burkle is authorized, the bank, PNC, the amount, and whose name will be on the account. It's shown in the minutes.
okay, do we have any questions for Chris?
I don't have any questions, but the next time I'm going to talk to the office manager, because this is like the 3rd time. We all have been there, we all have signed, and what's the deal?
She said that with it being a new account like that and money coming in, because we did have a CD that expires, and it expired on April 4th. I did not need to go in and transfer that money into another account. I did not need to make a withdrawal. This one, since it's new money and new account, they need new signatures and new names shown on the minutes.
What are they offering for interest at PNC?
It's like 4 and 4.10 at the time when I talked to her, 4% and then 4.10 on the 2 CDs.
No, for how long? CDs.
One was going to be 9 or 11 months, and then the other one was going to be like a shorter term.
Okay, so they're really all structured.
Yeah. The one that I just opened up at North Star Bank recently, because I don't have that. I did a short term and a long term too. It was right around 4 to 4.1.
Today's rate is probably
Yeah, they're all about the same.
Okay, so if we have no further questions on that, the motion would be in order to authorize Treasurer Briggle to open 2 certificates of deposit at PNC Bank in the amount of $250,000 each, with the clerk Kathy LaFontaine, deputy clerk Lori Stewart, Treasurer Chris Briggle, Deputy Treasurer Tom Green as the named members on the account, right? Okay, so,
I'll make that motion.
okay, is there support?
I'll support it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. All right, now we come to the item that we did add. It's positive pay. This is a service that is offered by North Star, where they charge us a certain amount every month. And then they would alert us if it appears any of our checks have been fraudulently tampered with or washed such as it is. The board has discussed this at pretty good length. At our budget meeting, we did discuss it as well. I feel after Trustee Kreiderman mentioned that our insurance company should probably have some sort of coverage for if something like that happens. I did call the insurance company, and they do indeed have that. While talking to them, they also mentioned that if we get positive pay, the person in charge of writing the checks every morning will have to go, and they will have to authorize all the checks every day. So my personal feeling on it is we've been fortunate, we have not had a problem yet. Our clerk is the person that writes our checks out. She frequently checks our balances. Sometimes when I'm in here in a day, she'll check them twice. So she knows what checks have come in and what have gone out. She's pretty familiar with how that all works. So it would be my recommendation that at this time, someone make a motion that we do not take the positive pay service. That is where I would stand. But discussion, Chuck, how do you feel about it?
I agree with you.
Okay.
It's just being an added burdensome thing, and what we're doing is working fine.
Okay. Kathy?
I'm totally on board. I was the one that signed the paper to decline it. I just didn't want to be the only signature on it.
But I get it. I wouldn't want to either.
I wouldn't want to either. I get it
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And how do you feel? Okay, are you okay with that? Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to need a motion stating that we are not going to use the positive pay service.
I'll make the motion to just, yes, not take the positive pay service.
And is there support?
I can support that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Okay, good, thank you. Next, we have farmland preservation, which leads me to something that we didn't do at the beginning of the meeting. I would like to make a motion to excuse Vern Coleman from the meeting. Do I have support for that?
Support it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. So Vern's not here. He did not give me anything to report. He had quite a bit at the last meeting. Does anyone have any questions we need to write down for him or anything, or we're just going to kind of move along? Okay. So next we have the building report. So we'll start. Jeff, do you have anything for us?
Yes, there's one item that I have talked to the supervisor about with regards to the condition of our, specifically the soccer field, but really all the lawns and properties here on the township campus. For various reasons, but probably because this had been a farm field for many years, a lot of that area gets rugged in the after the winter months. There's a lot of dips and bumps and what have you up there. With having young people, for the most part, running around soccer games out there and other activities going on in our park area, we were becoming concerned that somebody may literally twist an ankle in there, break a leg, fall down, things like that. So I approached the supervisor about adding to the budget this coming year, a roller that we can pull behind the ATV to kind of try to keep that area smoothed out. We got a proposal for that. The cost was $1,050. She felt like there was sufficient funds in the budget this year to get that done. And if we wait until July, it really kind of defeats the purpose because the season has started now. So I was in absolute agreement with that. We've gone ahead and, advised the company that we will need the roller at this point in time, and we're requesting board approval for the expenditure of the $1,050 for that 6-foot roller to pull behind.
Anyone have any questions for Jeff on this?
My understanding is we do have a budget already for this upcoming, for this year. So it's within the budget, so I sure don't see a problem with
Yes, that particular thing itself wasn't necessarily in the budget, but we
it. It's covered in it.
absolutely have plenty of money in that. Yeah. So if there are no other questions, then a motion would be in order to approve the expenditure of $1,050 to purchase a 6-foot heavy-duty commercial lawn roller from Interlake Construction LLC.
So I'll make that motion.
Is there support for that?
I can support.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Anything else, Jeff, or was that it?
Really, I think that's it. I think we got the Easter sign was going to come down today. I think
Thank
you
you.
guys got a minute to do that, and we weren't certain, who was going to go. We were asked to get the lights off the
Yeah.
tree out there for Christmas, and we'll make sure our maintenance person gets that done as well. I think we lost a little track of it. I think the rec department put it up, and then we just kind of lost.
And that's okay, and I didn't know when I asked you if they were supposed to take
Yeah,
it.
no, so we're having to get them down off there, so
Okay.
make sure that happens, too. I don't think that got accomplished, maybe they'll get accomplished in the next couple of days.
Okay, thank you. Anything else for Jeff? Hearing none, next would be the assessor's report. Does anyone have anything they'd like me to ask Christie? All right, hearing none, we're going to go ahead and move along to the library report.
Okay, I have some updates for the library. There is going to be a puzzle competition on April 12th at 10 a.m. Cost is $5 per team. And they are still collecting food for gleaners. They're going to take items through Wednesday, April 16th, and they're going to be picked up on the 17th. And the library is hosting a Michigan author from the Detroit Free Press. He was a former Detroit Free Press sports writer. He gave on Tuesday, April 15th at 6. He's going to discuss his new book, The Grind Line, which focuses on the 4 players who made a big impact during the Detroit Red Wings Stanley Cup winning teams in the 90s. It's free to attend, but they're asking people to RSVP by calling the library. There is going to be the Friends of the Library book sale on April 24th. It starts through the 26th. You can also go to the early bird. You can purchase them early on Thursday, the April 24th. If you pay $5, you can go from 4 to 6 for refreshments. That's all for the library.
All right, and then we'll have the NEMC report, please.
Okay. So the NEMC, we don't really have too much to report other than is you have in front of you the report on the second page where it says that I went over the missing type payments with Joe, Adair, and we are going to be all set because and there is no outstanding payments or anything any longer. We've all handled it. We're happy it's just written checks for that. So everything is all set.
Perfect. That's good. That's a good thing to have taken care of because I feel like that's been hanging out for a while.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
great. I'll take care of it.
All right, does anyone have any questions for Elaine? Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thanks, you're welcome.
Next, we have the Recreation Advisory Board report. We held the 3rd annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday, and even though the weather was not superb, we still had about 100 kids. And we gave out over 2,000 eggs. Everybody seemed to have a good time. We had it set up a little bit better this year, and the rain held off long enough. It was a little misty, but none of the kids seemed to mind going in that. Our next event will be September 13th. We're going to have a kite flying contest. Right now, we're looking at possibly, our office administrator has a friend that owns an ice cream truck, and so she may be coming out for a couple hours. We may have her come out, and we're going to check into the possibility of maybe getting a bounce house. Of course, it will depend on how much that costs and what the insurance would be on something like that. One other item that we have, and this will segue into the final item on this report, was we were talking about the possibility of holding kind of like a grand opening ceremony for the walking path on the same day. So on that note, Sir Matt did get the park plans all drawn up, and I sent them out to everybody. So I'm going to just, if you have any questions for Sir Matt or any comments for Sir Matt, I think now is probably a good time to talk about them. Right?
Yes, please.
We're good? Yeah. I've already talked to him. I had a couple questions for him, which he answered super quick. And the Recreation Commission also looked at them. They were very happy and happy with the timeline that was on there. So I'll give you the other information tomorrow morning, and you can go ahead and
I should.
let her know. Okay, great. Thank you for all your work on that. I'm excited for that to happen. Okay, next we have unfinished business, which we have none of. And other new business, the first item we have is the second reading and adoption of the fire code. EMS Director White explained, basically this is going to be a document for us to adopt so that we have guidelines when someone builds a new building. There will be regulations for them to follow that we have actually adopted. It does not address any open burn or cost recovery. It's strictly just adopting the fire code so that we have that on the books, and it will be every time there's a new fire code, the way the ordinance is written, it will allow us to just have the new one adopted. So a motion would be in order to adopt the fire code as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is to formally set the public hearing date for the FY 25-26 general fund budget. We discussed this timeline back in December, but I feel like it's important to formally set this. So I am recommending that the Richmond Township Board formally adopts May 14th, 2025 at 7 p.m. as the date and time for the public hearing on fiscal year 25-26 general fund budget. And I would need a motion in that time.
I can make that motion.
Okay, is there support?
I'll support it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Next, we'll address setting a public hearing for the FY 25-26 fire and EMS budget. This requires 2 public hearings. I'm recommending that the first public hearing be May 14th, 2025, and the second one be June 11th, 2025, for the 2025-26 fire and EMS budget. And I would need a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
Support it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion, I was not a nay, that was just, I was an aye. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is the appointment of the alternate board review member. It was probably the last day of the board review, or actually I think it was the Monday following, and I came in and Christine and I were kind of talking about how board review went. She felt it went pretty good. The day I was here, it was mostly people wanting explanation. There weren't really a lot of complaints that day. But she mentioned to me that they did have somebody that came in the last night, and she said he was very prepared. He had 3 or 4 comps, and she thought that, you know, he might be a good person to fill in for the alternate position that Jean Elric had to give up because she's so busy. So I contacted him. His name is Gerald Winans, and asked him if he'd be interested in being the alternate, and he said that he would. He did supply me with a letter of interest. I would recommend Gerald Winans be appointed as an alternate for the Richmond Township Board Review with the term ending 1/1/2027. I would need a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I can support that.
Is there discussion on this?
You don't think that you should be putting it out in the newsletter, the positions available, and give other people a chance to put an application or a resume?
I think it's a pretty tough thing. We did talk about this at the budget meeting, about getting people to serve on boards. They do have to go through training. Christine was the one that said, you know, he was very prepared. He was very well prepared. I've known him for quite a while. I feel that he would be perfectly capable of doing this. He would be an alternate, so he wouldn't necessarily, he would serve if someone can't show up. I'm comfortable appointing him like this, but, you know, if the board's okay appointing him, we can do that. If the board prefers to put an advertisement out for a month, we can bring him back at the May meeting and see if we get anybody else.
I think I would be more comfortable if we made it available to any township member.
Okay?
And they have an opportunity. I don't think something has to be set before tonight, and everybody has equal consideration at that point.
Okay?
If he's the highest qualified one who wants to do it, I have no problem with that at all.
Okay.
But until we offer it to everyone, I just would like to do it the other way.
Sure.
I have one question. Did he approach Christine with an interest in doing
No.
it? No.
He did not. She just basically said that
She
she has done boards of review for 15 years, and he was one of the most well-prepared people she has seen. I've done a lot of board of review when it's in my younger day, and oftentimes people will just sit down and Harold can agree to this, and they'll say, my or my, you know, my taxable or whatever. But he came with comparables, and he had done some homework, and he was ready. So I do think that does show an interest in the process. So I don't really know that we need a motion to table this, but we can put it on next month's agenda, and I will have the girls put something on the website. Yeah. All right, next item on the agenda is the 2025 limestone application. So we get to decide 3 miles every year where we're going to place limestone. We did get the information from the county, and 3 miles of limestone with brine will be $31,035, and that is in the budget. The office staff does keep a book with complaints in it. This year, the complaints were Craigman between Irwin and Prince, Dealand between school section and Angling, Craigman between school section and Angling, 34 mile between, or Armada Ridge Road east to Rest Road. Lori keeps track of all the roads that we've done in the past. She also has a map. When I looked at the most recent ones, I think I saw in 2023, we did some of 34 mile, or 2024, we did a mile of 34 mile east of Almo. So it wasn't Armada Ridge east to Russ, it was in a different area. I guess I'm going to open this for discussion. How does the board want to do this?
I am all for spending the money and bringing the roads up to grade, but I have concerns with, is that better?
Yes.
Sorry about that. I have grave concerns with, we need to sit down and have a meeting with the road commission. I've had several people come to me and say, you know, we're just tired of our roads being horrible like this, and what are you going to do about it? And I've been told by the road commission, there are roads. These are our ditches. We have complete control of them, and it's not open for discussion. With that being, would they want money from us to put on their roads with no discussion? And the thing is, we've been doing this for quite a number of years. We don't have, our ditches are a mess. A lot of roads don't even have ditches. And then we dump this material on, which is very, very expensive. And it ends up rolling off into the field with the waterway. We have where we put limestone. I went and took time in the last rain and took pictures, which I'm going to bring a copy of it, all around the township. And it absolutely looks like we ought to be in the rice paddy business. And you know, the scary thing about that is, I took a couple, 3 pictures of people that had houses under construction that were underwater. And, you know, it's a high water and it was a big storm. But with that being said, if you look right across the street from them or just down a little bit, there's no ditch. There's no way for that water to get away. So they finished building and not realizing that, you know, they're in the high water table. It's problematic. And I think before we go any further with it, it's time that we have a meeting with maybe Mark Ackle and see fit to be with us if somebody from the road commission doesn't want to. But we need to meet with somebody. We need to get it worked out. And I would even before, we need to even do a little bit more. But they need to be giving us matching funds. If we're going to put $31,000 in.
They put 310,000.
Okay, that's really great.
So we
Then why
pay
are we giving them
10%.
31
We pay 10%.
for the roads?
Yeah, it's always been a 10% match. We did have a meeting on March 31st, and I did invite the members, Chris and you, to join me at the last board meeting. We did have a meeting at the road commission. I'm sure Mr. Dimmoff would meet with us again. He has been extra attentive, and he's been very good about that. With this particular thing, we need to let them know by April 30th what we're doing, or we'll lose the $330,000.
What about him coming out and having a meeting to the general, the residents of the township can actually sit down? So it's not a situation where I heard, I said, they said. They get a chance to question the people that are in charge. I mean, they all pay equal tax. We work for them. I don't want to lose the $300,000, but the only negotiating thing that we have is the $31,000. And we would love to give it to them, but for that, what's the consideration and what kind of ditching we're going to have? I've had several residents call and tell me that they have went down and applied, and what they were told about the ditches is they have to fill out an affidavit. The affidavit is sent going to the county. The county gets a chance to prioritize them. And then after that, they send them out based on the amount of, if they have the staffing and if they have the ability to get to them. You know, I don't know if that's good enough.
Sadly, there are much bigger townships and cities in the county. And being a part of the township for 26 years, that it has become evident that the county also looks at us like we are a smaller entity. So we can certainly ask them out for a meeting. As I said, they invited us down, and I invited both you and Chris to come with me. Surmet did come with me, and I was appreciative of that. They were very forthcoming about what they're going to do. We did ask them about the ditching, because we knew it was an issue. They said with the new road funding, which I would not prepare to give you a good understanding of that this evening, so I won't try. But did they say, Surmet, that they have about $10 million to put toward that type of program in our county?
Correct. But they said that they're not fully approved.
Right. And so the decisions are not, and the longer that you're here with us, the more you'll know that nothing works fast.
I appreciate
Right.
that, but the rebuttal for that is, I know you've been doing it for 26 years, but in all fairness, these roads didn't get in condition they're in overnight.
Oh, no.
It's been a long-running abuse.
Yes.
And there needs to be a line drawn in the sand somewhere that we're going to do something about it. And kicking the can isn't going to help. And we need a meeting with them, and the attitude needs to change.
I'm not opposed to asking them to come out for a meeting. I know Mr. Dimoff is going to be out of town. I think he said through the second week of April, so maybe he'll be back next week. You know, if you would like to ask the trustees if they would like to have a special board meeting to do that, not
That'd be
opposed
great.
to that.
I just would like to have the general public have the opportunity to take part in that meeting.
So we will do what we did with the drain meeting, and we can put that on the website. And we can, send out constant contact when we're going to have that. But I really would like to have that before April 30th so that we don't lose out on the.
And once we give them that, what jurisdiction do we have as far as, they're asking us where we want it to go?
Right, it's our choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how will we base that?
So, as I said in my memo, the office staff started, how long ago, Chris, where they would get, people would come in or maybe send an email or write a letter about how awful their roads are. So we tracked those. This year there were 4. Some years there might be 5 or 6. This is when because I don't live per se on a gravel road, not to say I've not been out on them and realized that they are in need of a lot of attention, for sure. But I would almost defer to the people that might drive them more than me.
To be honest with you, Frank, you're an embarrassment. And the amazing thing is, we have a lot of people wanting to build new homes out here.
Right.
With these horrible roads and no drainage. And it's only going to get worse because that means more traffic. I'm glad for I'm not against the new homes, and I'm thankful that our township is that busy. But with that being said, we need to compensate for our infrastructure.
And I feel like when you are a small township and you do not bring a ton of general fund tax money in, that you do the best you can. I do feel like the proposed budget for 25-26, we have made collectively as a board, we will be proposing a budget that does commit a lot of money to the drain issue, which I feel is great. But certainly,
we took that on at the beginning of the year. We haven't even been a full year. We've already got that. And we even know money can all be done by.
so again, I'm not opposed at all to calling to see if we could get 1 or 2 people out here from the Department of Roads to come and meet with us. Let them know what we want to talk about. Let them know it's going to be a public meeting like it was with Don Brown, and put it on the website, send out constant contact. But I would like to do that prior to April 30th. I don't want to miss out on this one.
I don't have a problem making a motion to go ahead and spend the money and to do the roads based upon our meeting that's going to be upcoming with the road commission. And we're going to be able to offer the general public a chance to become local.
But are you okay having that meeting before April 30th? I'm just making sure. Because ideally, if we were to agree to 3 miles tonight, I would send them that information and speak with, not Sue, because she's not there anymore, but the young lady in here, her name is Marcia, that took her place. Let her know what roads we were looking at, and then when the minutes are approved, we would send those to
The
them.
only question I would say in the 3 miles is how much that 3 miles has actually got a ditch, a road ditch. So we're not gonna end up just wasting the material.
I don't know that. Certainly something we could ask them. If they would know, I hope they would know.
Or someone here, we could go out, or I could go out, or, and maybe someone from the audience would be willing to volunteer to help serve on that committee. We could go out and have a chance to look at it. We need the community activity on this. It isn't something that one person can do. More voices are here, and the more we're going to get from the road commission. What's your feeling? I mean, I've been doing all the talking.
Well, we can't really interject with them. They can comment on public comment at the end of the meeting
And
now.
that'll be available.
It's just, if this was a town hall meeting or like when we had the drain meeting, we can have the back and forth, but it's not proper etiquette.
Okay, I agree.
So,
Temporarily, then I'd like to make a motion that we table this until further discussion.
if I can get a support on that, I have a question. Support for that? I'll support it.
Thank you.
So my question would be, if I understand correctly, you're looking for resolution of having input from our residents, inviting them to a meeting with the Department of Roads. We need to do that by April 30th. Perhaps some recommendation of days and times to,
We have a special meeting.
we can have a special meeting, absolutely can. Yes, for sure.
If it was 2 weeks from tonight, what would that be? I don't have a calendar in front of me. 23rd. Would that give us time to still handle our budget requirements as far as approving this
Yes.
money for the expenditure? That would give everybody the input that we so badly need. I think that'd be great.
So April 23rd at 7? Yes, would that be possible for you? No, Jeff, that is not the night of your meeting. Your meeting is the 22nd, correct? Okay, so I just want to make sure it wasn't gonna, okay. So your motion then would be to table decision on the limestone placement.
And by the next meeting, we'll have it to, I'll personally go out and look at, I'll take this list and go out and I can tell you how many we have road ditches and if it's gonna work.
Okay. And to hold a special meeting on April 23rd at 7 p.m. to invite the public and discuss the placement with them.
And the thing we haven't thought about though is what about the road commission? Are they gonna be able to be here?
I don't know. So I guess,
Can we tentatively do it providing that they're willing?
yeah, I think that would be the best thing.
And I'm sure we ought to invite our commissioner, general commissioner, Kenny Boyke,
For sure.
and maybe a representative from the Drain Commission, as well as the road commission.
Okay, so does everyone understand what the motion is, and can everyone make the meeting that night?
I can.
Okay. Okay, so you moved, I supported. If there's no further discussion, I'm going to ask for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. So we will talk to staff tomorrow and have them do constant contact.
And I'll get that list, I'll get it checked out.
Great. Next item we have is the publication of the workable ordinance. We need to formally adopt that at tonight's meeting again. I did add the changes that we talked about at the last meeting, so the ordinance in front of you is exactly as it will be presented. So I will need a motion again to adopt the workable ordinance for Richmond Township.
Also, I'll make that motion.
Is there support? Support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Okay, so we are now at items for next agenda, and we are going to bring back the Board of Review member. We will, of course, have the public hearings. It will be the May meeting, and we'll have public hearings. We'll have both of them at the beginning of the meeting. Can anyone think of anything else? Okay. I hear none. Next is called to the board. Chris, do you have anything?
I don't, oh, wait, let me think here. Maybe. We're working on the budget, we're kind of figuring it out, we're almost balanced, and hopefully that's gonna be done. Well, it will be done by the end of April.
Your settlement, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, the supplement, yes, not budget, the supplement, yes.
Kathy?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. John?
I've taken up on
You've done well. That's okay. You're good. You can take up as much time as you want. So I really don't have anything. I didn't put my supervisor's office, just about sent the grant in. We did go to the road commission meeting, and they did talk to us about some possible grants to resurface the Hidden Meadow subdivision that they've had problems with for quite a while. So that will be another meeting that we will be having. Okay, here's nothing else. The next item we have is the general public comment, and there's a maximum of 3 minutes for the public comment. I do want to state that generally we can't do the back and forth thing, but I will stay after the meeting and speak with you if you'd like to do that. I'd be happy to do that. So at this point, I will go ahead and offer up anyone that would like to speak, just please come to the podium. Come to the podium and state your name and address if you would.
My name is Daniel Loria. My address is 36250 Big Hand, will be. I want to put a motion to change an ordinance of attached garages from right now it's at 850 square feet to larger of some kind, or the, what would it be?
The more than the square foot of the house.
Right, yeah,
Which is.
other townships are that.
Most
So,
townships, not cities, of course,
850 square feet, we feel just is not that big for an attached garage in today's.
but with that being said, currently we're.
Steve, you want to come up here and talk? If you're going to talk, please.
Go ahead. Well, just explain how barn is.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically to allow a barn dominium to be built. Now, because most barn dominiums are bigger than the 850 square foot garage, so they may be allowed to be built right now in the township, but you're not going to build one with only an 850 square feet garage. So usually they're larger than that, and maybe not larger than the house itself, but to be at least half the size of the house, or the same size as the house. So.
Okay, thank you.
First, I want to say, Chuck, thank you about the water issue. I've held more water than I've held in 27 years I've been here. Yeah, we do, my ditch is half the size it used to be. I'm holding water. I'm trying to push it somewhere to no place for it to go, or give it direction. So, thank you. With that being said, we have a lot of pictures. He wants to build a barn venue next to me. We're gonna be neighbors, father, son, for those that don't know. And, you know, they become a big thing for 6, 8, 7 years now. Other townships, there's one by Yale that's unbelievable. The barn size is either 60 by 80 by 100 with a small house on it. That's not what he's looking to build. I mean, not to say just him, but the square foot, 850 square feet for that style of home. It's a beautiful home. If you're not familiar with the pictures, then you want to see them after the meeting. We have multiple ones in the area, surrounding townships. It's just, if you take your attached garage in your barn, which most of us have, I have a 24 by 24 attached, a 30 by 40 detached, I put them together to be 54 by 64. It's your all-in-one, your personal, your everyday cars, your camper, what you have, whatever you have. It's a combined thing, you know, it's just a garage barn attached, you know, so, yeah, if the ordinance, nobody can really give us a straight answer when the ordinance was written. Many years ago, farming and for the thing, everybody had big detached barns. It's a farming, community, obviously, we know that. In large farms, or you could build one huge 20 feet away, but that's not the style of home that. So just, I guess take consideration of You say not to exceed more than the square foot of the house. The house can be 3,300 square feet, we're looking to build a 2,400 square foot attached garage. / barn, they're not really barns, I mean, they're called barn dominiums. In his case, it's total stick-built 2x6 construction. Now, barn shape and the shape performance.
How big a parcel are you trying to build in?
10 acres. And everybody surrounding it has 10 or more. And one of them, and their side has 10 plus. So it's, yeah, not encroaching on anybody, not overpowering anything. Just on 1 acre or 2 acres, hands down, I can see that that's, just not feasible or shouldn't be done. But on a large parcel, the beautiful looking, his drawings, he's gotten very deep into this without knowing that ordinance, and shame on us on that part. So, just,
Okay,
good,
thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Benjamin Johnson. I'm a resident of the township of 77256 Homewood Road. I would first like to thank Ms. Greenia for her time and explanation tonight before the meeting regarding discussions of the open door ordinance and removal from the agenda this week in order to allow consideration of our citizens' rights and our citizens' concerns that were voiced over social media and by myself at last month's meeting. I would also like to extend my services, or not services, but any hours or insight that the board would be willing to hear from, and I would be willing to gather concerns from the community in order to input some of the other additional concerns outside of section 13. Again, thank you for your consideration. Thank you for your time last month. That we all were getting.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, hearing no one else, a motion to adjourn this morning.
I'll make that motion.
Is there support?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion is carried. Thank you, everybody.